and brothers and sisters to come watch him run. If that's the case, man, shout out to you, Wayne. I wish you would have took that and ran with it. But my thing is this. That leads me to the next thing. I want to talk about your environment. We hear about it all the time. People talk about it all the time. But it's the truest thing in the world. You are a product of your environment. And I'm not saying making excuses, or I'm not. I'm just. It's just very truthful. And what that means is that you become what you're used to growing up around. Let me give you an example. And real quick, lions. Lions are king of the jungle. The cubs become lions because they grow up rough. You know what I mean? Wolves become wolves. Dogs become real dogs because they grew up around real dogs. You are a product of your environment. And I want to thank a lot of the people growing up where I grew up that kept me away from being a product of my environment. I want to thank y'all, man. Y'all know who you are. You know what I mean? I mean, I could have sold drugs. I could have done all those different things, but y'all wasn't going to let me. Even if I wanted to. That wasn't on my mind, but y'all wasn't going to let me. But I want to let y'all know, man, for the ones that really, really stayed on me and made sure, and I knew I wasn't, but made sure, man, I want to thank y'all so very much for that, man. So, you know, you're a product of your environment, man, and that happened to a lot of talent out of Zion and Waukegan and Kenosha. A lot of talented folks, man, ended up not being able to maximize their talents the way I did and a lot of greats did. But my mind and my pride, my struggle of being successful, that was the way I made it out of there, man. So that big bowl of talent, man, there was so much there in Zion, man. I really applaud and appreciate a lot of you boys, man. So shout out to y'all. I want to talk about this. There's only maybe about 2 people that know this right here, what I'm about to talk about. So when I said that this segment would be very personal, this is where it gets personal, and not in a negative way. Again, everything I'm doing here is positive, man. So please don't take it no way. I'm sure nobody's going to be offended. I'm going to tell nothing but facts and nothing but truth. So with that being said, now I'm going to get into something that happened to me in high school that really molded me. My daddy was insane of molding me. My brother was insane in molding me. My brother Pat was insane in molding me. Marseille Dixon, there was a million people that really molded me, man, and made me a bad son of a gun. But let me tell y'all what really molded me. At Zion Benton, you know, one thing, shout out to all the coaches, they never had a problem with bringing guys up that were great. If you were great as a freshman, they bring you to the varsity quick like that because they wanted to win. If you was great as a sophomore, they bring you up to the varsity quick like that to help them win. I remember that freshman team I played on with Super Coop, Fred Knox and those guys. We went undefeated. We smashed everybody. You know, we beat the brakes off everybody. Wasn't even close. And I remember going up to my sophomore year. And I remember my sophomore year, me and Super Coop, could have been somebody else, but I just off the bat of my mind, been so long. I remember me and Super Coop, we got pulled up to the varsity as sophomores in high school. The one that had the most we had followed was a guy by the name of Eddie McKinney. He was the real deal. Eddie McKinney was the super sophomore, man. He went up to the varsity as a sophomore and broke all the records, scored all the touchdowns. He was the real deal. And so that was just something that Zion Benton did. They felt that we're going to put the best talent on the field. No disrespect to none of the guys that was on varsity. Not that you wasn't good enough, so please don't take that the wrong way. But all I'm saying is that they moved guys up, and those guys sprouted to be the best of one of the best. So as a sophomore in high school at Zion Benton, the wall that I hit of my downfall, or not really a downfall, but the wall I hit that made me the strongest man in the world, starts here. I remember this, man, and I'm never going to forget it to the day I die, so I thought I'd share it. I only shared it with maybe 1 or 2 people in my life, but now I'm going to share it to the world. And when I say this, if you were part of that, you know you were a part of that. I'm always the one to say something. If it don't apply to you, let it go in one ear and out the other. But if it applies to you, this is how you made me feel at that time. And I want to thank you. I want to thank you. Look at me good. I want to thank you. If you're watching this and you're alive, man, I want to thank you because you really molded me to be what I became in high school and in college and pro football because of this right here one situation. As a sophomore in high school, me and Super Coop got moved up to the varsity. And I'll never forget, I don't remember if it was a playoff game or if it was the last game of the year or had playoff contentious. That I don't remember, but I won't forget this. I remember moving up, and at this time, what I loved about Coop, we was just alike, man. We wasn't afraid to play with people 2 years older, 3 years older. It didn't matter to us. Because I got the mindset that if you go out there as an athlete and you're hurt and you play against somebody that's better than you and they eat you up and they beat you to death and they beat the brakes off you, in their mind, I don't care if you was hurt, you got out there, so you played. And I'm the same way. I honor that. And that's how it should be. So if I'm going against a true legend great in basketball or football and he's out there, I'm trying to whoop him. I'm trying to beat him. So if I beat you, I don't care if you was hurt. Don't come out there unless you hurt. If you hurt, don't, because we're not using that excuse. And I never have. I never will. But this situation, man, it made me everything I was to this day. And like I said, very little to none know this, and I'm sharing it with the world for the first time. As a sophomore, never gonna forget it. I can't remember what game it was. I don't know if it was Steven or Warren. I'm thinking it was Warren, but I ain't sure. Don't hold me to it. But I remember getting moved up to the varsity, and me and Super Coop, we played a little bit of linebacker, played a little bit of defensive back. And I remember it was the last play of the game. And at that last play of the game, the team had two good receivers. And I think one of our better veteran DBs or whoever was on one guy, and the best guy on the field was over here on the other. What I couldn't understand now, and I don't care back then, is it was the last play of the game. I'm a sophomore playing on the varsity, and they pushed me. They told me to go cover them, and I did. Because, again, I ain't scared of nobody, no nothing. It is what it is. And I'm a running back, take it, but I don't make excuses. I'm just saying, last play of the game, never forget this, man. They sent me off to go cover this guy, last play of the game, and I'm on him, doing what I need to do, trying my best to hold him down. They throw the ball up, the dude score a touchdown. On me, I'm all over, I'm passing and fearing, I'm doing everything in the world to try to hold him down. He scores the touchdown. They win the game. And I'll never forget this. And like I said, man, if you're watching this, shout out to you, man, because for the ones that was a part of this, that did this, y'all made me. That's what pushed me and made the chip on my shoulder bigger than anything in life was this situation. They scored that touchdown on me, and I'm a sophomore. Some of y'all juniors, some of y'all seniors. But I get to school that next week on a Monday. And I thought I had a lot of friends that loved me. You know what I'm saying? A lot of brothers, a lot of brotherhood, right? And it was just a very few. And I'll never forget this. When I got to school as a sophomore in high school at Zion Benton, after that game, they threw that ball, and that boy caught that ball on me, and they won the game. I was broken. I went through it the whole weekend because I felt like I let y'all down. You know what I mean? I was broken. But that insult to injury, I never forget this, man. I get to school on Monday. I get to my locker, and there's a picture on my locker of a guy getting caught, a touchdown scored on him. A picture on my locker of a guy getting scored on, a touchdown pass called, and it's saying touchdown. A picture on my damn locker when I was a sophomore in high school. For the next 2 or 3 weeks, everybody looked at me sideways. My best friends, who I thought was my best friends, they didn't talk to me. They was looking at me like, who are you? For 2 or 3 weeks. I'll never forget that, y'all. So if you was part of that, man, you know, shout out to you, man, because God bless you for the simple fact that was really the one that molded and made me everything I did for the rest of my life on that point. That game, that time, because when you think somebody really love you and they don't. Me, I would have put my hands around you and hugged you and said, man, it's all right, forget them. But that ain't what happened. Never forget it. They caught that touchdown on me, man. You know what I'm saying? And last play of the game, lost it, broke me down, hurt me to lose. That Monday, that picture on my locker of a guy getting a touchdown scored on it, whoever put it up, thank you, man. You made me who I am to this day. And all my friends that I thought loved me, y'all turned y'all ear on me for the whole next 2 or 3 weeks in school. Girls, guys, everybody didn't look at me. Everybody looked at me like I committed a murder from one play. But guess what? Like I said, man, I ain't mad at y'all. That stayed in my heart closed for so long. But I'm over it, man. But I want to shout y'all out because y'all, that's what made me. My daddy made me. My brother made me. Other people made me. But that one play, if you was part of that play and you put that on my locker, I don't forget, man. That made me who I am today. So everything I did all my life, man, you know what I'm saying? That started me. You know, with that being said, I got one more small thing to get off my chest, man, and it's personal.